being in sales is a tough gig because everybody kind of views you with some sort of skepticism. So it's important to remind yourself, especially if you're in the high end, high ticket coaching space, there's a lot of money to be made there. But I tell people all the time, it's like, if you really want to make money, there's other ways to make money, right? It doesn't have to be in this space. If you're in this space, it's because not only do you want to create income, you also want to create income. But it's tough. You're getting on calls with people who are looking at you like you're the salesperson and you're just after my money. And it's like people are very skeptical, especially when it comes to the sales conversation, to the money conversation. And I mean, it used to bother me. At once upon a time, it was like, man, I really want to help you, and here's this person coming at me or like, ghosting me or whatever. And it's like, it used to really upset me and it still affects me, but I've built up my skin around it. The main thing is, how do we keep our mindset? How do we stay inspired and leaned in? Because it's easy to go downhill if you're getting either rejection after rejection, or people are, let's be honest, people are kind of crappy, man. They treat you not so well. If you're in a sales position, you got to have that thick skin. But it's also important, if you're in this position of being in the high ticket, high end coaching space where you're actually changing people's life, helping them to change their life, their business, some area of their life, it's important to remind yourself why you do what you do. Recently, I got a text message from a young guy who made a decision that he wants to change his life and he wants to do it with this company that I've been working with. And he even took on a second job just to pay for the tuition of the coaching and the mentorship from this company. Now, when I hear something like that, I'm inspired. I'm like, this guy really wants it. And I worked with this guy and I helped him to get into the program and kind of, grease the wheels a little bit so that we could do it in a way that works for him. And he texted me afterwards. He said, listen, it's because of you that people can change their lives. Now, it's a simple text, but it means a lot. It means a lot because if you're going for a long period of time without interactions like that, I think if you're in this space of the high ticket, high end coaching space, you need to at least once a month be hearing thank you, thank you, thank you, Abe, thank you, name, whatever your name is. Thank you for helping me to come to a place of clarity. Now, not everybody, in fact, the majority of people that you speak to are not going to see your role as a salesperson that way, right? They're just going to treat you like, oh, this is a salesperson. They're trying to sell me their stuff. But every once in a while, you'll come across people that are really, truly appreciative because you're there. I would say sales is not about getting money, it's about getting clarity, right? Helping somebody to develop clarity in order to make an empowered decision. Now, it doesn't always work, but that's the goal. That's really the goal. And that alone is huge. It's like, it, it goes so far. I mean, that's so valuable. So I only got a couple minutes, but I'm gonna share with you guys a story from the sales floor of a time where a sales conversation really did impact someone's life. And this was about almost a year ago. It was in person at one of the events that I uh, used to be a part of, used to help run with Mastermind. That's Dean Greciosi, Tony Robbins' company. And we were at this event and, helping entrepreneurs to really get serious about launching their own knowledge business. And there was this young guy, let's call him Mike. Mike was there. He's like an 18-year-old kid. And at first I sort of dismissed him like, okay, it's great that he's here. That's awesome. But like, I can't see Mike signing up for like a $10,000 program, but I'm gonna do what I can to make sure he has a good experience. Sure enough, he comes to me. He says, "Abe, I'm really interested in signing up." I go, "All right, well, let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. Let's see how to make this work." Right? I'm not expecting much. He's an 18-year-old kid, and he says, "Listen, I'm young. I don't have a lot of money. I have a little bit, but not that much. I'd have to get my father involved." So the next day, the father comes. Now, the father kind of open-minded, but still the father comes and is like, okay, so what is this? What are you trying to sell my son? So we sit down. We have a conversation, the three of us. And it starts out with the father on this end, I'm on this end, son is sitting next to the father, and it's this like firing questions. Who are you? What's this all about? I'm just connecting, building rapport, answering questions, no attachment to the outcome, just present, right? After about a half an hour or so, the father and I connect, right? And we go really deep down the rapport rabbit hole. And what's really interesting, first off, is the dynamic because after about a half an hour, the father is now sitting on my side because I'm showing him some stuff on the computer. He's now sitting on my side and we're facing the son. And the father is on board. The father's like, listen, I think this is great. Father's like, I'm entrepreneurial. I get it. I want to make sure that my son, Mike, is really committed. And it's interesting because it's like, what's that show, Two Dads and a Baby or something like. So it's like now it's like the two fathers looking at this kid like, hey, do you really want this thing? So I posed the question. I said, hey, Mike, so tell me a sec, like just kind of walk with me here into the future. Let's say a year down the line, where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be? And he says, look, bright kid, sharp kid, but still a kid. He goes, I don't know, maybe $1 million business. And I, kind of chuckle. I look at the father and I say, well, think about it like this. And I want to be clear. Mike wanted to do something to help other young men who are struggling with mental health issues. So he had a mission. He had something important to him. Give me 1 second. I want to text some of the money because I really want to share with you guys this story. 1 second. Okay, so he goes, yeah, maybe like $1 million. And I say, what if, because mental health, right? What if in a year's time, a young man, around your age comes to you and says, hey, Mike, because of you and your efforts, I'm here. And I may not have been otherwise. And the kid goes, yeah. And I look over at the father, and all of a sudden I start to see tears in the father's eyes. And I realize that was a topic in their house. And that's why that kid was there. At that conference, he developed some tools to move him through a difficult part of his life and now wanting to share that with us. And all of a sudden, it's like, it's not about the money, it's about changing this kid's life so this kid can go and change others. You can't pay for that. Like that fulfillment, that's what drives me to do this work that I do. Now, the money's great. I'm good at what I do, I make good money, but without the fulfillment aspect of it, like, why are you doing this? I like honestly, if you're just in it for the money, like go do crypto, go, I mean, you could do stuff in real estate, you could do stuff elsewhere, right? There's other ways to raise money. But it's important to remember that why are you doing this in the first place? Income and impact. So I'll let you guys sit with that. Main point here is look, if you're in sales, especially in the high end coaching space, it's tough out there because a lot of people treat you like you're just a salesperson. Don't forget why you're doing this in the first place. Hope that's helpful.